You open your eyes and here you are, surrounded by the hum of machines and the sterile, artificial glow of the Genesis chamber. You weren't born, you were designed. A robotic voice announces,
Designation, Van Z.
"Congratulations, you now have a name, with Van being your first name and Z being the house your family belongs to." All of this incredible technology around you, as well as the entire planet, is powered by mining the planet's unstable core. I'm sure that won't be an issue. The fluid around you drains, and suddenly the gravity hits you like a brick wall. Krypton is only 1.5 times larger than Earth, but the gravity is almost 40 times stronger. It's far beyond what your muscles are ready for yet, but you'll get there. To keep the balance in this planet's complex society, every baby is genetically designed to fit into a specific role: leadership, high council, scientific, medical and engineering, arts, design and construction, warrior, security and weapons, labor, services and general assistance, and religious, discipline and ordinance. The government decided that you were going to be genetically crafted for the role of scientist. They cheaped out on things like strength and charisma, and put all your points into intelligence. Welcome to Krypton, Einstein. Do you even have parents? You were born in a machine, right? Well, yes. Even though you're technically designed in a lab, the genetic material to create a Kryptonian child still has to come from 2 individuals. The government's algorithm crunched some numbers and decided it needed someone like you, and selected the 2 people that they would need to combine to create you. Your parents were lucky enough to essentially win the lottery that allows them to reproduce. Wow, how ethical. Now, as a baby, your parents probably won't be the hugging type. You will likely get a few polite nods here and there, maybe a reserved look of approval when you do something impressive, like solving a problem or stacking blocks in a particularly efficient manner. They're Kryptonian. They're efficient, not affectionate. If I were you, I would cherish that memory, because in terms of love and affection, that's probably the most you're gonna get. Cut them some slack though, because they were also grown in a lab. By the time you're 4, you're in the state-controlled institution for science. Your quote-unquote classroom is a sterile room with holographic projections delivering super advanced sciencey lessons like quantum physics, genetics, and engineering. You like that, don't you, you big nerd? Oh, and your teacher is an AI robot. Yeah. Getting a human to do a job like this would be a waste of time. Pretty much every job here that isn't deemed as super important is taken care of by robots. But oddly enough, you're not encouraged to ask questions. Just solve problems. Every morning begins with rankings, and every lesson ends with scores. It's pretty strict, and there's no room for failure. Falling behind means being reassigned to a lower class, or even worse, being assigned an AI tutor who has analyzed your every weakness and will make you work until you're perfect. You're surrounded by children your own age, but they aren't your friends, they're competitors, all shooting for the top ranks in their guild. The pressure is mounting, and you're already becoming what Krypton demands: efficient, logical, and relentless. Now that you're 16, it's time for your rite of proficiency. This is the test that decides if you're worthy of joining the Science Guild, or if all that time the government spent preparing you was just wasted. Remember, you were genetically designed for this, and your whole life has just been training, leading up to this moment. This planet doesn't have any need for plumbers anymore. So if you fail this test, you're probably being sent to the Phantom Zone or something. Yeah, it's best not to think about it. You're led into a vast simulation chamber where an entire planet's energy grid is failing. Your task is to fix it. Good luck. You better lock in, because you don't want to know what happens to little boys like you in the Phantom Zone. Oh, well done. You're a natural. It's like you were born for this, you big nerd. Welcome to the Science Guild, and welcome to adulthood. Take a look in the mirror. See that young face of yours? I hope you like it, because now that you're in your early 20s, it's not going to change. Kryptonians live for hundreds, or in some cases, thousands of years. So now that you're in your 20s, your aging is going to slow down significantly, leaving you with that exact same look for many, many years to come. You take that baby face of yours and join the workforce, and live a life bound to the pursuit of knowledge, working in the laboratories of Candor to analyze the genetic stability of your people. You know, making sure with all this genetic tinkering that nobody accidentally gets born with 2 heads. Despite some questionable moral decisions, Krypton is a utopia. There's no poverty because everyone works for the state. There's no war because everyone is united under the same purpose. And there's no crime because no one would dare risk being sentenced to the banishment in the Phantom Zone, the empty dimension where time doesn't pass just for stealing a loaf of bread. Krypton's technological advancements have given them access to things like intergalactic and interdimensional travel. Its people live longer, healthier, and easier lives, and almost every sickness is cured. Unfortunately, this has also resulted in a system where everything comes second to the state. The Kryptonians' need to serve the greater good of the planet has almost wiped out individuality, personal expression, and art, all in the pursuit of progress. You start to notice cracks in the idea of this supposed utopia. Literally, the ground trembles more often these days, and rumors spread through the labs about a possible evacuation plan. But when you ask questions, you're met with silence, or worse, reprimands. Kryptonians don't ask why, they just focus on how to sustain the system, how to patch the cracks, how to keep marching forward without ever considering the idea that one day the march could end. One day, you stumble upon classified data in the archives. The simulations show a 99.8% chance of planetary collapse within the next 5 decades, but the files are buried, labeled as quote-unquote irrelevant. You bring it up to your supervisor, who shrugs and tells you,
That's not your department.
and he's right. You're a Kryptonian, and Krypton is eternal. This is a perfect society, and you need to get back to work. As a scientist, your every waking hour is consumed by equations, formulas, and that steady march forward of scientific progress. In your mind, the future of Krypton is calculated, measured, and certain. Until you met her. She comes to your lab on official business, tasked with reviewing our genetic archives for the Warrior Guild. You've been at this job for over 100 years now, so you show her the way and get to talking. At first, it's strictly business, but you quickly find you have a lot of common ground. Laura Van L, you have a ridiculous name. No way, I have a ridiculous name. Sparks fly, and after years of dating, she's the light of your world. She makes you wonder if you've become too absorbed in your work, too blind to the potential of what this life could really be. With her by your side, the mundane becomes magical, and every moment feels like a page out of a dream. She's the most beautiful, enchanting, and caring woman you've ever known. Someone who sees you in ways no one else ever could. Her laughter is music to your ears. Her kindness, an anchor in a chaotic world. She's the kind of girl you always imagined when you dared to dream of love. The partner you thought existed only in stories. She's the most beautiful, enchanting, caring woman you've ever met. The love of your life. Oh, never mind. You've just been assigned a partner. Sorry, Lara. The government's main computer system has selected you to breed. Hell yeah. It's paired you with 279-year-old Zanara Veckley. You're both in the Science Guild, and the state needs another child who's a scientist just like you. Apparently, there's something going wrong with the planet's core, and they need more great minds to figure it out. I can't imagine what though. After a couple of months, your little boy is finally ready. You and your new wife, Zanara, make the ceremonial trip to the Genesis chamber. It's a surreal experience, rows upon rows of potential children, each one meticulously engineered, their genetic profiles displayed in glowing detail before you. You sift through the options, weighing traits like intelligence, physical prowess, and resilience. After much deliberation, you choose the child with the best genes, the one destined to excel in the Kryptonian society. This will be your baby boy. The others are, we don't need to talk about those. You take him home with you and accept your new role as parents. Despite looking like you're in your mid to late 20s, you're both well over 150 years old. So hopefully that time has got you ready to be parents. Your little boy grows up to go to the Institution for Science, just like you did. He'll be raised by the state and AI. And you'll see him every once in a while, just to check in on how he's going. No hugs though, because your parents never really taught you how. Life on Krypton certainly isn't perfect. It's a world built on strict order, calculated efficiency, and emotional restraint. Sure, there are benefits. A society without chaos, where everyone knows their role and plays it flawlessly. But there's a flip side, one that makes you stop and think about what really matters. The lack of spontaneity, the absence of genuine warmth, the hollow feeling that comes with chasing perfection. It makes you question the things that really make life worth living. But hey, if there's one thing we can learn from all of this, is that in the long run, everything's gonna be okay. Oh, good thing you guys can survive in space.